There was, obviously a lot of angst because, for a long time, a lot of the protests, usually, especially when it's such a massive national protest, it's usually not in your backyard. And so for it to be in our backyard, relayed the importance and the significance of the moment. And for Stafford, it helped open up a lot of people's eyes to issues that a lot of people take for granted or may be oblivious to. I kept hearing some things like, I didn't know this was happening in Stafford, or people are having these experiences. And this was only made possible through community leaders like Mr. Green and other community leaders who organized the protests in such a cohesive manner that it allowed people to have a voice, to come and voice their thoughts and feelings and what they wanted to see, as well as the opportunity for elected officials within the county, regardless of your party affiliation or race, to be able to just come sit and listen and, hear from your constituents what they feel it's happening within our community and how we ourselves can change it so that we don't have a similar incident happen to us here within Stafford. And so for me, leaders like Mr. Green played a big role, as I said, because, in the beginning, it kind of was a movement without a head. And so, Mr. Green and some other people, especially Mr. Green, I would say, seized that opportunity in trying to have some type of, cohesive and informed avenue and spearhead the whole process so that people knew who to trust and who to listen to and, how to reach out. Because for a long time, some people didn't know, well, how can I get my voice out there? How can I be heard? And having someone such as Mr. Green attached to that process, it lent credibility, not only with residents because of his credibility with the residents as well as with elected officials, because he does so much with county as well. It helped make the process transition as smoothly as possible so that people's words can lead to actions by elected officials, such as the board voting to reestablish our diversity coalition committee, which is an arm of our board to help us understand issues in the community that we ourselves as elected officials may not be aware of. Between that and having forums throughout the summer where people had the opportunity to show up and talk and speak, and elected officials from school board, county, sheriff's department, Commonwealth, like you just name it, we all showed up so that we could sit and listen. And so his role was very central in that, because without him and that leadership, that movement might not have been fruitful in Stafford County in trying to have some type of end resolution and end goal, which is always the purpose you want in a protest, is what are your end goals, what are your end solutions, and how do we get the other side, meaning the elected officials, to listen to that and to meet those needs in some way. And he was able to capture that. And without him and the other leaders, I'm not sure if that would have been possible. Since the protests, I have partnered with Mr. Green and two other community leaders to form our Stafford Community Initiative, which is basically the 4 different arms of our community coming together to meet citizens' needs. So you have the county side, which I represent. You have Mr. Green, who represents the business side, and then you have Mr. Allen, who represents the community activist side, and you have Bishop Lacey, who represents the faith community. And so by coalescing all of us together, we're not only coalescing our minds and our abilities, but we're coalescing our resources. And so we've been able to do things such as during COVID, we did things to help RAD, which is the Rappahannock Health District, which is where Stafford County falls in. We helped them with rollouts in terms of getting people informed on COVID-19. We did a town hall with them. We did pamphlet handouts. We've done vaccination registration with them. We have also started a food bank, which Mr. Holland, Mr. Green, and Bishop Lacey have done a tremendous job of doing and maintaining, and we've grown now thanks to the efforts of those gentlemen. We've also done things such as this past weekend, we've cleaned up portions of 610. We've done different projects within the community to help. So since that experience with 2020 and growing my relationship with these different individuals in terms of understanding their passion for the community and their abilities, as I said, we're like, let's come together, let's form an organization where we can meet people's needs and coalesce all of our different resources to meet those needs, so that if one avenue doesn't work, we still have, 3 other avenues to try to get the need met, because oftentimes we are our greatest allies and resources. We can't always look outwards for that help. Sometimes it's internal. And by doing that, we're able to not only develop a better relationship within the community, but we're able to form stronger bonds. We're able to build a more sense of community and self. And we're able to, as I said, once again, to meet the needs of what our citizens need.